What's going on YouTube? This is Jim Afanis, and today I want to talk to you guys about PlayStation VR. I just got done watching The Verge give a live stream because it was not available on YouTube or Twitch or anything, and the whole press conference clocked in at a whopping 13 minutes. So I guess I could understand why Sony didn't go to the trouble of broadcasting it. That said, the subject of virtual reality has been on everybody's mind, and when we all heard that PlayStation's Project Morpheus was going to become PlayStation VR, we all wondered what that meant. Well, finally we have a price and we have a release date, and I'm going to read that to you now. It was announced very quickly into the press conference. It's going to launch in October 2016 for $399. Now, compare that to the other virtual reality units in the world, the HTC Vive. That's half the price of that, and the Oculus Rift is, I believe, $800 as well. So now you have PlayStation coming in at $400, by far the lowest of the big three. I'm not including the Samsung VR because that's just mostly cell phone type apps, but I guess technically it is VR. So I was shocked when I heard that price because I was curious. I figured it would be in the $500-$600 price range because it's really hard to tell with Sony sometimes the way pricing is. You know, you think back to what they did on the PlayStation 3 and you think about how crazy that pricing scheme was, and they seem to have learned their mistake with the PlayStation 4 definitely undercutting the Xbox One, but you always wonder with pricing. Well, that has all gone away, and now we know it's going to be $400. I don't know if I'm happy or sad by this announcement, and let me tell you guys why. VR is going to be a very tough sell. It's going to be very hard to convince me that I need VR, that I shouldn't be using my fancy, shiny, big 65-inch wall-mounted high-definition television. Now, they did give off some technical specs of the unit. It is going to be an OLED screen, which is very similar to what the PlayStation Vita is. I believe the latest iteration of that is an OLED screen. It's going to be 5.7 inches. It's going to support 1080 in both eyes, refresh rate, all that good junk. It's got 360-degree tracking, and I guess if you have the camera, even if you turn your head away from the camera, it can still kind of detect what you're doing, which is pretty interesting. The two interesting and kind of sub-announcements that came out of that, one was that the DualShock 4 would be utilized as a control device, which we already knew, but the second was that it was still going to utilize the PlayStation Move. I was kind of expecting a different tech to go with it. The PlayStation Move did not sell very well. Obviously, there's going to be a resurgence for it, and I guess that is some forward thinking if they designed this unit long ago with VR on the brain, but it makes you wonder if that tech is kind of up to snuff. You think of what the original Wii Remote controller did as opposed to the Wiimote Plus adapter as opposed to the just Wiimote that we have today, and there's been a pretty significant leap in technology, so it makes you wonder if the old PlayStation Move is going to be up to snuff in terms of controls. Most people, myself included, do not own a PlayStation View. I'm sorry, PlayStation Move. So it makes you wonder as to whether or not the that's going to be reintroduced into the market, and at what price is it going to come bundled with it. I was hoping for more on that front. The second thing that was a little disappointing from this announcement was that they didn't really talk much about the games. They did mention that the unit could be played in a cinematic mode, which is basically just a TV right in your face, so you could watch movies or that sort of thing on there. I have no idea why the hell you'd want to do that, but you could if you want to. But they didn't really talk about games at all. I think No Man's Sky was on everybody's mind, but that rumor was shot down months ago by the development team. So we're all kind of waiting for the next big thing, and the only teaser we got was that Star Wars Battlefront would have a VR mode, an exclusive VR mode, but more on that coming soon. So we're not really even sure what that means. Is that going to be like a whole new level? Is that going to be a whole new way to play the game? Or is that just going to be some little gimmick, like some cinematic mode that has VR elements? We don't know. I was hoping for more on that front. I have worked with virtual reality at my business where I work, so I'm familiar with what its capabilities are. It looks good. It can look good. It can look kind of clunky. So I have no doubt that that technology is there, even though it's a hard sell in of itself. But I think where Sony really messed up is not talking about games. They did say that there are a slew of developers already in, I believe they said 260 developers that are currently making games right now. They listed a bunch of the companies that are working with PlayStation View right now. All of these different, you know, like you have like Silicon Studio, Rad, Umbra, Gigantic, Unity. So these are like big development suites or studios or products. So he's trying to say that it is kind of mainstream already in the PlayStation development world, which is great. It's nice to know that they're not going to pull a Nintendo on us and it's going to be just developed only by Sony. It's nice to know that there will be games and products for other things down the road and that other studios are somewhat invested in it. Unity is a very common development platform, by far I think the biggest one that's currently available. At least that I use, I'm familiar with through work. But so you may see some development there, some side development between them and like Steam or the HTC Vive or whatever. So that's nice that they have that open architecture. It's not some goofy proprietary PlayStation 3 goofy weird Dolphin Core or whatever the hell their integrated system was that made third-party games such a chore porting over. So that is a nice feature to it. But the fact that they didn't really have anything to sell with it, I feel like if this thing comes out in October, what am I going to get? What am I going to do with it? There is a free PlayStation VR type studio, very similar to what PlayStation had when the DualShock 4 came out with the Playroom, where you could shake your controller and there's like these little aliens you could suck up as like a big vacuum cleaner and use your DualShock tracking to manipulate the screen. I suspect you'll have some kind of freeware that goes along with the actual headset, but outside of that, in this potentially cool or really gimmicky Star Wars VR experience, I haven't really seen anything that makes me say, God, I gotta have this thing today. And I think that's a big opportunity that was missed, and it really does make me wonder that when you're finally going to reveal the price and you're going to reveal the launch window, and everybody's now like, whoa, you guys just undercut the competition by half. Let that hype sink in for a few seconds. Jump, cheer, applause, celebrate. Sony won. They won, whatever that means. But then ground yourself in reality and ask yourself, what is happening now with the games? And I'm not seeing that, and it worries me. Using the old move, the limited edition, the limited game supply that is maybe coming out, you have all these games in development. Don't tell me you're going to blow $400 on a 100-foot robot golf. I don't think you're going to. Right now, I would have to say this is more of a gimmick than a must-have. So I am going to just be kind of mindful of it and kind of see where it goes. I'm sure pre-order pages are popping up all over the place, and it's probably going to be out there very soon for people to scoop up, or at least throw their money in the hat, just to wait and see, let it play out and see what happens. I'm hoping that at E3 we're going to get a lot more news on this and a lot more game related. Now that we got the technical stuff out of the way, we got the price, we got the cost out of the way. Although it is very strange, even though it was only a 13-minute press conference, why not open it up to the masses? Watching the PlayStation conference back in February, a couple Februarys ago, when they launched the PlayStation 4 price and they were talking about the console, and everybody just collectively lost their minds. I would have enjoyed to have that hype right now, other than reading about it through a website where I kept hitting refresh. It took a little bit oomph out of it. Although noticing that there was such a lack of content, it kind of starts to make a little more sense. Everybody gets ready for this big 13-minute production, and then that's it. It's over. Goodbye. So that is everything I know about the PlayStation VR project right now. I know there's going to be more news to follow. I believe that there's going to be a lot more games and demos and that sort of thing at the conference this week, so we may get some more information trickle out on that and get a little better sense of what the price of these games may cost, how many are bundled, what kind of things come with it. Tell us more about the Move, tell us more about all the peripherals that are going to make this thing work. And their job now is to really sell us on the content as gamers. The virtual reality excitement, the tech that goes into it it does wear off quickly. It really does. It's like anything else is hot new tech that is fun for a few minutes, but without content, you will quickly move on. The Kinect suffered the exact same fate. This is just another iteration of that. So be wary before you guys buy this. Just take your time, really think about what you're getting, think about the money that you're going to invest in this without really knowing what you're going to have. So that's my 2 cents. That's everything I know. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the support. I'm over 60,000 channel views. I am truly humbled. That is so, so cool. When I made this channel just for fun, just doing videos as a hobby, I never thought I would reach that many unique viewers. So that is really cool. So thank you guys so, so much for that. I will continue to do great videos. Soon you won't have to look at my wife's Cade Spate shopping bag in the background and all these weird reflections. I will be upstairs very, very soon. I got my microphone stand the other day, getting my rug put up there. I'm going to be very, very excited to be up there very soon. I'll get to drop the crazy ass headgear, and more to come. Anyways, that's all I have for now, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.